The Four Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Yes. Woohoo! Hampden, here we come.
Again.
Treble is on, ladies and gentlemen. So, Brendan Rodgers' Scottish Cup record, played 20, won 20. The biggest crowd in a Scottish Cup tie since 2011. The stage was set and it finished in the third tie of this round of Scottish Cup quarter-final ties. Celtic 2, Hibernian 0. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match show. Paddy, we're through, mate, and that's all that matters.
That's it, Scotty. The only thing that matters in a cup tie is getting into the next round. Yes, it would have been lovely to have had a more convincing victory, but I think the victory was convincing enough, given that we only scored the 2 goals, but we could have had far more. I still think we played in third gear most of the time. But listen, the object of the exercise at the beginning of the day was to get your name in the hat for the draw on Monday night, and we've done exactly that.
Bang on, mate. Absolutely bang on. And Andy, I think we expected more goals. I think we all did, especially for both sides, really. We thought it was going to be a bit of a goal fest. It didn't turn out that way, but good game of football to watch.
I really enjoyed it. I've got to be honest with you. I was really looking forward to it as well. I was buzzing for it before the game. I think a lot of these games on paper, when you look at it, you think there's quite a few goals in this, but a lot of the time you're it doesn't work out that way. It's quite tight, and as we'll talk about the game as it goes on, it was that way. I wouldn't say it kind of ended that way. You had the fashion we could have got a few more towards the end, but overall, absolutely delighted to be going to Hampden again for the semi-final. And this was billed as probably one of our toughest games of the season, so it was good to get through it pretty unscathed, to be honest with you. So Brendan Rodgers' record in the Scottish Cup continues, so delighted.
Aye, it's absolutely incredible. So it is absolutely incredible that record he's got, Paddy, in it.
It's unbelievable, Scotty. You have to hand it to the guy. I was listening to Scott Brown pre-match, and he was just basically saying the same. He was saying that both the first time he was here and in this spell, his record is absolutely unbelievable. The man knows how to get the job done. It's as simple as that. And you don't do that by luck or by fluke. Hard work and dedication and buying into the system. And as I say, Brendan has the Midas touch in Scotland for sure.
He certainly does. And a lot of people saying that the Hibs keeper was man of the match and it should have been 5-0, but we will get into all of that. So Andy, I'll come to you first, mate. Starting lineup, pal. Any surprises in there for you? I think we all sort of called that lineup, didn't we? I think maybe the only person that could be unlucky not to get a start was Yang, who has been in very impressive form recently. Kuhn looks as though he's got the head down a wee bit recently as well with something that's maybe going on in the background that we don't know about or whatever. But any surprises there for you, mate, in that starting 11?
No, just when you mentioned Yang, I think a lot of us think that Yang's probably more an impact player anyway rather than a starter. I thought Kuhn played all right today. I thought he was involved in a lot, and we have spoke about this before, that it looked as if he's doing a wee bit. I think, and I've said previously that I think he's maybe disappointed in himself with his own performances because he's lifted his own performance levels that high that even any kind of drop off looks bad, and maybe he's thinking it's worse than what it actually is. Kuhn's a very effective player and a dangerous player for us, and a very effective player in our front line, because we know our front line is very quick and dangerous for any team.
Aye, bang on, mate, bang on. And Paddy, any surprises in there for you, my man?
Not at all, Scotty, and it's just good to see that Brendan obviously watches the Four Leaf Clover podcast, because I think we called it on Friday night. I know I certainly did anyway. I can't remember you guys, but I know I certainly called that one.
Yep. I think everybody did, mate.
I think when you look at it, that's probably on paper. That's probably our strongest team at the minute, isn't it? It's probably our best 11. Again, as I say, the way Yang played recently, he probably can count himself unlucky. But again, he's maybe just going to be one of these guys that that comes on with 20 minutes to go with the other team tired and uses his tricks and skills. But no, for me it was just bang on, because that's the team that we called on Friday night.
It certainly was, my good man. So, Paddy, let's get into the game, my man. The first chance we had was on the 4th minute. Kalmak tries one. Kuhn cuts in from the right-hand side, squares it to Kalmak, who hits a cracking shot, by the way, from outside the area. And a strong wrist by the Hibs goalkeeper. Good save down to his left-hand side, mate.
Great play from both sides there, Scotty. Brilliant football from us to open up the opportunity. Nice wee ball slid across from Kuhn. Callum takes a touch, bang, and you're automatically thinking it's down into the bottom corner. But the goalkeeper does fantastic. And do you know what it was? It was a sign of things to come. That was his first save of many. But as you say, he did very, very well, not only to make the save, but not push it straight out to somebody. He pushed it away into a dangerous, into a safe area. So, but it was a fantastic bit of football from us. Great effort from Callum, but a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. And as I say, we didn't know at that stage, but he was about to be produced first of many.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say there, Andy. It was the start of many for him. He showed strong wrists all day, shall we say. Very good game for the Hibs goalkeeper.
Aye, he's not the first keeper to come to Celtic Park and have a blinder.
Something we speak about quite a bit, Andy.
Yes,
actually, they do.
Yeah, we do. He had a very good game. That was a great attempt with Kalmak. Something we've seen him done many, many times and scored goals for the positions. And it was good to see the ball actually getting through that kind of Hibs defence, because as the game rolled on, they were very structured and done very well defensively. I thought Hibs today limited us to no a lot of attempts on target, I would say, but I think obviously in that situation the keeper done very well. I thought it was in, I've got to be honest with you, so it was a good save.
Yeah, and Andy's just come up with a great point there, Paddy. I was actually struggling to write any notes down, mate. Yep. Although the game was flowing and everything seemed to be happening, there didn't seem to be too many chances. And the next chance actually came to Hibs. Yep. It was a quick throw-in on the 17th minute. Just out of nowhere, really. I think they stole a few yards where Casper was going after his nut, wasn't he? And they were clean through. And thankfully, Casper seemed to be the only one that was switched on, and a good save for him.
And you know what, Scotty? It would have been the commentary team actually mentioned that at the time. It would have been an interesting one if he had scored.
Yeah,
I think they would have had to have taken a look at it, because the guy must have stole at least 10 yards, maybe more. The ball was nowhere near where it went out at. But listen, Casper didn't know that at the time. Good run from the Hibs player, but a good save and a good block from Casper. But you just know whenever Casper Schmeichel is absolutely doing, he's not the way he was doing, that something was amiss there. I couldn't quite work out what it was he was upset about at the time until we saw the replay. But when you see Casper going off like that, because he's usually very cool, calm and collected, but listen, we could have been caught out there. We definitely switched off at the throw-in. You know, whether the guy stole yards or not, that was up to the referee. The ball was in play and we were sleeping.
We certainly won, mate. And then, although we had so much of the ball, we didn't get our next clear chance until the 36th minute. And what a ball to Maeda from Hatate. Great touch again from Maeda. And Bashiri just nudges him off the ball a wee bit, didn't he? But as he goes to shoot, Dyson wasn't too happy with that touch he got off him. But I thought it was very clever from Rocky.
Aye, it was, but it was a great ball for Hatate. Oh. You could look at it today and say Hatate had a good game. I think he kind of misplaced a lot of kind of balls as well. But he's always got that in him. He's got that in his locker, just a pinpoint pass like that. Maeda just fires it out. But Bashiri's a big unit. I think at times Maeda struggled a wee bit against him, but then you look at his size difference, you're just bouncing off that guy at times. Sometimes you think it looks like a foul and you're like, it's actually no, he's just put his body in the way, he's used his physicality. He's a big unit. And I think Michael Stewart made a good point in commentary when he was talking about he's got a mistake in him.
Yeah.
But he seems to have kind of improved his game a wee bit. I think he is, for his size, pretty athletic. I think he's reading the game a bit better now as well. So as dangerous as Maeda is, and he did get that opportunity that to get in there and fire the air, but he's a big bit of a unit. He's defensively pretty good in general.
Aye, and Pat, I know you're a fan of him, Paddy, ain't you? You spoke about him Was it last week or something? We were having a chat about him. I quite fancy the left back, Cadden for Hibs. I think he'd be a good backup to KT if we can't get one. And I was sort of singing his praises. It was a shame to see him going off with the hamstring injury. Especially with like the Scotland squad and stuff like that coming up soon as well. I think he's a bit of a player. I think he puts the best ball in the SPFL, mate, for that left back position. I think he's a cracking player, as is his brother on the right hand side as well. But you're a fan of Bashir, aren't you? And he done well there against Maeda.
I like him, Scotty, and you and me have talked about him in the group chat on a few occasions, but that's the thing about him. He needs to take that out of his game. I think it must be lack of concentration. I think he might be one of these players who, when he doesn't have much time, he looks brilliant. But whenever he has a bit of time, then he starts to. I think he maybe thinks he's Franz Beckenbauer, and I think that's where it comes from. I think it's a bit of lack of concentration. But that particular incident was one of the first of about at least the three, I think, with him and Maeda. That particular one, I know there was claims for a penalty there, but I thought that would have been harsh. He just used his body really to put a bit of pressure on Dyson. Fair enough, he doesn't make any contact with the ball and it's inside the box, but Dyson has already got the shot away. And all the big guy did there really was just use his body and use his strength to sort of shoulder him off the ball. There was a couple in the second half where he took him clean out of play, and Nick was just waved play on. It's just ridiculous. But that one there, as I say, I think it was the first of about two or three. But that one there, I didn't see that he did a lot wrong. If that had been Carter Vickers at the other end or Trusty at the other end, you would have been saying exactly the same thing. So I think Bashir did well there, and wee Dyson was just unlucky. But it was just a sighter for him.
Aye, very clever play from Bashiri. I've no qualms with that defending either. I thought it was very clever from him. And then 2 minutes later, Paddy, the man we were just talking about there, Maeda, he gets his goal. Great play on the left-hand side from Schlupp. Yeah. Plays a nice ball in. Kuhn gets the shot off, but again, that bloody goalkeeper, man, saves it again. But who's the first person to react? Obviously, it's Maeda, as he reacts first to everything. And he got there, Paddy, and he gets his 27th goal of the season, is it?
Yep. And he's just our talisman, Scotty. He's become the talisman that, so much so that there's nobody mentioned Kyogo. His name's not being mentioned. Yep. But it was great play again. Powerful play from Schlupp again, down the left side. He's a big, powerful unit, Schlupp, and he uses his force and his physicality to drive wide there. He gets a great ball back. He cuts it back across. Kuhn coming in, you're just waiting on the net bursting. But to be fair to the goalkeeper, again, he makes a good save. But I don't think Nicholas Kuhn just gets it all. I don't think he gets the hold of it the way he would like. I don't think he got all on it. I think he sort of sclaffed at it. But listen, brilliant save. But listen, I'm sure that goalkeeper's thinking there's not a chance here. He sees Maeda standing there and he just absolutely rifles the ball into the roof of the net. That's exactly the way to take a rebound. None of this tip-tapping about on the 6-yard line. You see a chance like that, you put your foot through the ball and get it in the net. Wonderful play from Celtic all round. Good save from the goalkeeper, but just wee Dyson following up there, just doing what he has been doing just this last few weeks. He's phenomenal.
It's mad, isn't it, Andy? He's just always on his toes, mate. And as soon as that goalkeeper saved it, he was on him. On him like a rash, mate, straight away.
Aye, it was a great ball in for Schlupp, to be fair, who I thought had a good game. But Dyson actually dummies it first before it goes to Kuhn. He just lets it go through to Kuhn. And I actually thought that was a goal. The keeper done well, but I think, it obviously he stopped it, but he put it right almost above his own head, high. And then Maeda is where he's always at. He's always in that position to stick it in the back of the net. And he absolutely rifled it in, didn't he? There was absolutely no mistake what he was going to do there. Yeah. Delighted for him. He's always going to pop up and get you a goal. He's just that guy, isn't he? I love him. All the Celtic fans love him. He's so calm as well. He doesn't get too excited, doesn't get too wound up about stuff. I think Maeda, now and again, he gets a red mist and he makes a stupid challenge and maybe gets sent off about, but overall, Dyson Maeda is, I don't know if I showed you guys, Fabrizio Romano put in who's the best talent in the world at the moment or something, and I just put out a picture of Dyson. You know what I mean? I was like, there's a man. For us, he's priceless. We spoke about when you're talking about transfer fees and all that for players, and how much would he be? He's no money's enough for him because he's priceless for us. You take Dyson Maeda out of a team and you're losing so much, not just the goals, but everything else that comes with it. So I just love him to bits. I think he's been majestic this season, and there's absolutely no doubt that he's going to win Player of the Year. No doubt.
We'll need to get Beyonce in, mate, and get your irreplaceable. he's absolutely brilliant. No, he is. He's irreplaceable. Do you know what I mean? It's if we sell him, who do you bring in to replace him? There's no player in world football, I don't think, that could replace him. You know, so you're bang on, Andy. You're absolutely bang on. And then Paddy, that bloody goalkeeper again. 43rd minute. What a save for the Hibs goalkeeper again, Smith. Corner makes its way out to Rio Hatate, who strikes a beauty. It's gone right in the top bin, innit? Right in the top bin. Goalkeeper plucks it out, mate. What a save for the boy again.
Absolutely unbelievable. Like we thought it was in from the minute it left his boot. But when you see it again, it was heading for the top corner, but then it just sort of moved at the last minute towards the middle of the goal. And I think that's what allowed him to get his hand up. If Rio had managed to get that right in the postage stamp, they would never would have got near it. But it did sort of start a dip at the last minute and move towards the middle of the goals. But listen, take nothing away from the effort, and you can't take anything away from the save. It was an absolutely unbelievable save, fantastic save from the goalkeeper. As good a save as I've seen at Celtic Park in a long time from any goalkeeper. Fantastic from the lad. But again, just for us, very frustrating, because you're thinking, is this just going to be one of these days where, you know, this guy's going to stand on his head here? But just good to see Rio shooting. You know, that's what we actually said that in during the game, that, you know, he has that in his locker. We all remember the goal at Hearts on the night he made his debut, you know, and he doesn't do that enough for me. He definitely doesn't. And at that stage of the game, Hibs had actually started to drop really, really deep because it was obviously getting near half time and they were defending. So Celtic obviously rightly so. Rio was in a world of space there. He was in a world of space on the edge of the box. So he just teed it up. And honestly, from the minute it left his boot, I thought it was a goal, but you can't take anything away from the goalkeeper. Phenomenal save.
Aye, unbelievable, Andy. I was just wanting to let it in because that was gone right in that tap bag, mate. But bloody, what a save for the boy.
Again, we talk about McGregor's got Anthony's locker. Hatate certainly has. He's done it many times for Celtic. A great save for the keeper. So, he done well, and it obviously his game went on. He proved that it wasn't the only kind of top class save he was going to make. He really. I think without him, you could be looking at a totally different scoreline.
Yeah. Aye, brilliant. So that it finished 1-0 then, Paddy, half time. What was your thoughts on that first half? It was, just give us your own thoughts on it, pal.
Well, I was trying to look at it from what way would Brendan be thinking about it, you know, and I was thinking he's probably thinking, you know, that we've had all the ball, we've had all the play. Yes, we've had a couple of wee breaks from Hibs where they maybe looked a bit dangerous, but we mopped up anything fairly comfortably. But you know, for all the play and all the pressure, we're still only leading by 1-0. That will have been his only concern, and it was certainly mine at half time, because during our chat we were saying, you know, this is not a league game, this is a cup game, so I'm pretty sure Hibs' tactics will stay the same. Their plan was to try and hang in there until the last 20 minutes, keep the game open until the last 20 minutes, and that's exactly what they've done. So at half time, I'm just thinking Brendan was probably thinking we've created enough and we've had enough of the ball. Fair enough, as you say, for your note, Scotty, we didn't have an awful lot of attempts on goal, but we had an awful lot of possession down both sides, with Kuhn on the right-hand side, Johnson on the right-hand side, and Jota on the left-hand side. But we just didn't, for me, we didn't work the goalkeeper enough. You know, he should have had a lot more to do in the first half, but we certainly had enough of the ball and enough territory and enough possession to create another couple of chances. But listen, it's a cup tie, and as I say, that's the only thing we want. I was desperate for us to make the breakthrough before half-time, because I didn't want the Hibs to get to the half-time and be able to regroup and come out the second half still on level terms. So for me, it was vital to get the breakthrough before the half-time.
Yeah, and Andy, I watched the Edinburgh Derby last week, and Hearts were the better team in the first half against Hibs. Hibs weren't in it at all. But the second half, they really took care. Their fitness took care, their power took care. And I was a wee bit concerned about that when it was 1-0. But we know what Celtic can do, especially when we bring our substitutions on. That's been happening for us in the past few weeks. Once we've got the subs on, it's sort of changed the game. And we see how powerful our bench actually is. But just give us your thoughts on that first half, mate. How did you see it?
I was really happy with the first half. I thought we played some really good football. I think maybe what was lacking was more attempts on target, you know. So I'd like to have seen more of that. And I know we've just been talking about the keeper making a right good couple of saves in the first half, but I think we showed more than we actually produced when it came to shots on target. So I was probably looking for more than that. Getting into the second half, I was thinking that we would hopefully try and get a wee bit more on target. But I really wasn't getting into the second half thinking he's going to make changes here, because I think overall the team were doing pretty well. I wasn't looking for any changes in the team, and I don't think we needed any substitutions at that point. I was quite happy with the team that was on the park and the job they were doing at the time.
Yeah, no, you're bang on there. That's something we've spoke about on this pod quite a bit as well, is that substitutions sometimes do need to be made at half-time, and Brendan isn't really a fan for doing that. But today, I think, was one of them where nobody deserved to really come off at half-time. They were playing really well. It's just, as you said, the Hibs goalkeeper was on fire, and they were getting good blocks in defensively. Their shape, everything was good. It was a good half of football to watch, even though it was only 1-0. It was one of the games.
Do you know what, Scotty? I was happy with the fact that we limited Hibs to basically nothing. I know we spoke about that, but it's still the yards by the throw in. But other than that, I really can't remember much else for Hibs. So I think it was a mixture of your play and their defensive play that they almost cancelled each other out. That they weren't really kind of giving us any danger at all up around the park. We were quite advanced and pushing them on and pressing them quite high as well. So it kept them at bay. But then again, that makes their part of the pitch more compact, because they are well drilled defensively, so it leaves less space. But I still thought we'd done pretty well down the wings in the first half as well, and then even better in the second half.
Aye. Andy, you're getting a few comments here about you're glowing and you're looking good in summary and all that. Have you got your 4-bar fire on there right beside your face or something?
No, mate, I've actually ran out of gas, but I don't need it as much now because the temperature's up. I don't know, what is it at, about 16 degrees or something like that? So not too bad. It's summertime here now, mate. So
right, okay. It's certainly no summertime over here, I can tell you that. Bloody hell, man. Hasn't it stopped raining? So after that, then on the 47th minute, it was a possible red card. It was a naughty one on Hatate by Triantes, but there's no point in discussing it. It definitely wasn't a red card, but it had to go to that VAR nonsense as ever. And then Paddy on the 52nd minute, sensational wing play from Jota as he muscles past Cadden, skips by another player, and then gets a shot off, but yet again, right at the Hibs goalkeeper. Maybe one he could have squared. We've seen him do that a few times. I think against Hibs at Easter Road as well, he done the same sort of thing, and he could have squared it, and he didn't. He took the shot, and same again, pal.
Brilliant play from him, Scott. It was an awkward ball that he had to try to bring down over his head and keep in play. And I think the defender was thinking the ball was going out, but Jota just touched it past him and he was gone. And he showed great strength because the guy came back at him. But Jota showed unbelievable body strength to shrug him off and break into the box. The only thing he did wrong was he didn't get it in the corner. If he had got it in one of the corners, he would have scored. But he probably had taken a lot out of himself. But the final shot was really straight at the goalkeeper. Not so much a great save. He didn't have much to do there. The ball was struck straight at him. But brilliant play from Jota. Yeah.
And then 4 minutes later, Andy, on the 56th minute, incredible defending for the Australian lad at Hibs. Hatate put Kuhn clean through on goal. How the Hibs defender managed to stay with him for starters, because he's the fastest guy in the league, apparently. And no foul him as well, bring him down or do anything. He actually gets to the ball before him, which is unbelievable, really. Just brilliant defending for the boy.
He does, but I think you need to... that ball for Hatate was just superb.
Yeah,
a superb ball. And Kuhn's through it. I think he dithers a wee bit, see, just before he's about to pull the trigger. That's what allowed the boy in, just to get his toe in front and block it. But because I thought he's going to score here. I really thought it, but I just thought he kind of dithered a wee bit just towards the end. And just as he's about to fire the trigger, then the boy just blocks it there. But again, a great ball for Hatate. Just superb play.
Brilliant, mate. And then Paddy, 4 minutes later, bang on the hour, talking about great balls. How has Maeda missed this one? Couldn't AJ doing that right-hand side again. AJ puts an unbelievable ball into the back post. How's he not tapped that in, mate? It looked easier to score it than miss it.
For that one there, it looked a wee bit like the Dyson of last season, didn't it there? It looked a wee bit like the way he used to fall over his feet. But in fairness to him, it was a brilliant move. You know, it's becoming a wee trademark down that right-hand side where Johnson makes the break. on the right-hand side. And the one thing that we've seen with Alistair Johnston is he can deliver a killer ball right into the danger zone there. And when you actually watch the replay, I think it's actually harder for Dyson to do what he does and score. It's actually more difficult. You think all he has to do is just make contact with this and he knocks it over the line. But whatever way he tries to extend his leg, he puts it wide. But you're just thinking, slide in there and just knock that ball over the line. But listen, brilliant play. We just absolutely opened them up. And it was the first sign that we were starting to get in behind them. And for me, the first sign that Hibs looked as though they were the legs were starting to go a wee bit with some of them, because of the way we'd been moving them around and passing the ball and all the rest of it. But brilliant play, and we were actually all on our feet here. We were all on our feet. You're just ready to serenade the second goal from Dyson. And as I say, I think it's harder to do what he done, but brilliant play all around, and he was very, very unlucky.
He certainly was. And somebody else who's hitting shots left, right in Chelsea these days is Sloop Andy. On the 65th minute, he nearly gets another goal for Celtic. Steps in on the left-hand side, edge of the area, onto his right foot, goes past two defenders and just wide. I thought it was in, mate.
Aye, I thought it was in as well. Couldn't believe when the net didn't burst it. I don't even know how close it was, but it must have been millimetres for getting in. He's no shy of taking a shot either, is he? He had another couple of shots as well that were blocked, but that one managed to get through. But fantastic effort. Aye, fantastic effort. I just want to touch on that last one Paddy was talking about. Do you know how good the AJ and they've got a great understanding?
Yeah.
I just love how they work together, whether it's the overlap or the underlap. And AJ always gets to that byline, and we're talking about a game against Hibs and AJ getting to the byline again. He gets that ball across, and actually, when I first seen it, it reminded me. Do you remember Euro '96 when England were playing against Germany, and a ball like that came in, and it was Gascoigne that actually went to slid in and put it in. But Dyson connected with us ball. I think, it's the position he slipped in. It was kind of the wrong side of the post. I think if it was more central and connected, I think that ball was going in, but because he just caught it with his toe. But that's first thing that came out in my mind was that Gascoigne missing that when he slid in.
Yeah, and thank God he did. We'd still be hearing about it if he'd scored it. So on the 75th minute, Brendan started to ring the changes, which is very late for him. He must have been thinking potential extra time here, so he was leaving it as late as he could. 75th minute, Kalmack and Jota get taken off, and the very impressive McCowan came on, and Yang. McCowan done brilliant when he came on. And then on the 84th minute, Kuhn got taken off and Adam Maeda came on. So on the 89th minute, Paddy, Yang actually misses one for a change. Good ball in from Maeda on the left-hand side, but Yang gets it all wrong, doesn't he?
He does, Scotty, but if you get a chance to watch it again later, have a wee look at the replay. Adam Maeda actually runs right into his path when the ball's going across, and I think he has one eye on Maeda. I think he's thinking this ball's going to arrive at Maeda first, and it was one of those ones I don't think he was fully expecting it. Maeda should have taken himself away out of the road, but he just actually does. He runs right across the path of the ball, and I think that just totally puts Yang off. Because you know what? See if he hadn't been there, Yang could have taken a touch and slaughtered it away. He didn't even have to hit it first time. It was a brilliant ball across, but I didn't see it until I saw the replay. I think when you see the replay, you'll see Adam Maeda just runs right across his eye line. And that's sometimes when the ball's moving at that speed, it just takes somebody to come into your vision there, just put you off. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Poor Emma Dodds, whoever she is getting it tight in the comments. I'll not put any of them up since we've got ladies. I haven't got a clue who she is, lads. I'm sorry. So Andy, on the 91st minute, Ida, great play by McCowan, impressive McCowan, who was brilliant when he came on, down the right-hand side, cuts it back, and there's the big man, 2-0, Celtic.
Aye, I love that kind of play. See when they almost don't give up, they're taking it to the very limit, to the byline, cuts it across, and Ida manages to get a fit on it. So delighted to get that second goal, but also delighted for Ida as well. What is it, 4 games or something he's went without a goal. So good to see him on the score sheet again. But with you don't want him banished, because he's that type of player that he'll have periods where he'll get loads of goals and then he kind of dries out as well. But he's always got that in him. to get to have a go. I think it's quite interesting against Hibs as well. I think it was last season at Easter Road they popped up and saved us, big Adam Maeda, when he was still on loan, obviously. So delighted for him. I think it will do his confidence well as well, and taking part and getting us to another semi-final. So delighted.
Yeah. So McCowan, Paddy, great play down that right-hand side, squares it for Ida. Thought McCowan was really good when he came on, pal, as well.
He was. He steadied us down, Scotty. And just to touch on that, I think normally at that stage of the game, when I saw the board going up initially, I thought this will be Hatate now, because Rio very, very rarely finishes a game. So we're sort of thinking that Callum might just have been carrying something. He maybe just wasn't 100%, and he's maybe said to Brendan, "Look, I can give you 70 minutes," because I don't think Brendan takes him off with the game in the balance at that. Unless there's something there. He certainly didn't look as though he was carrying an injury or anything like that. But it may have been something. He was maybe struggling with something. You just don't know. But listen, McCowan was brilliant when he came on. I thought he settled us down. We had just started to sort of become a bit sloppy in the middle of the field at that stage. Hibs were starting to get a wee bit of joy, and you were sort of thinking, because they brought on Ewan and they brought on Hoylett, so they were bringing on a bit of speed in the wide areas, and we were sort of becoming very sloppy up around the middle. Rio started to give the ball away. Even Engels was getting caught in possession. There was a few times they broke on us. So I think McCowan just settled everybody down. But that was another one. We definitely smelled blood in that part of the pitch, didn't we? On that right hand side, down that way, Alistair Johnson, and then when McCowan came on, we definitely knew that there was a weakness there, and we exploited it. Brilliant play from McCowan, pull back, and Big Adam. It was just good to see the big man getting a goal. He tucked it away, is nice. And listen, I don't want to say it was a relief, because, well, it was a bit of a relief, but it wasn't a relief, if you know what I mean. It was just good to see the second goal going in. Not saying that we needed it, but for us here, it was just brilliant to see the game. That's it, put to bed once and for all. There's going to be no late goal that's going to send us into extra time or anything like that there. So brilliant play from all round, from everybody, but especially the break from McCowan. Fresh legs, and Big Ida does what you expect him to do on the 6-yard line. Yeah,
and that was on the 91st minute. And then a couple of minutes later, bit of deja vu. McCowan does the exact same move, but he goes himself this time. And again, a save from Smith. So
see that chance you're talking about it there, Scotty. See if you look at it again, Sloop's at the back post himself. See if he manages to lift that ball out of Sloop. That ball's in the back of the net. I think he picks the wrong choice there when he tries to finish it himself.
Yeah.
But it's a instant kind of decision in it, so you don't want to go into him too much. He's obviously done all the hard work and thought, I've got a good chance of getting a goal here. But if you look back on it, Sloop's at the back post himself, and if he managed to get a ball to Sloop, he would have finished it, no doubt.
Hello.
I can hear you, Scotty.
Hello?
Don't know what's going on here.
Can hear you fine, mate.
I can hear you all right.
We have some gremlins. Hello.
We can hear you, Scotty.
Yeah. Andy, can you hear me?
Aye, I can hear everything. Yeah.
Go out and come back in, lads.
Okay.
It was nice to see Big Adam getting a goal, because he's took a bit of stick recently, and rightly so, for the way he's played. But listen, that's what you need to do when you come on. When you come on, you need to make an impact. And as I say, I'm not saying that we badly needed a goal at that stage of the game, but it was just, it was lovely just to see the second goal going in to finish it off.
Can you hear us now, Scotty?
Aye, I don't know what happened there, mate. Must have just been a wee bit of gremlins. So that was us, lads. That was the last minute. And then Smith had one last save. Hatate plays Maeda in. He rounds the keeper, and a very good save for Smith yet again. And it finishes Celtic 2, Hibernian 0. So that's us, lads. Fantastic for the boys. Paddy, full 90 minutes. What's your summary of the full 90 minutes for you, pal?
Well, I spoke to Andy post-match there, just, and I think, I'm not saying we made it difficult for ourselves, but I did anticipate. I thought Hibs, with all the pre-match talk about them, I thought they'd have been on the front foot a lot more than they were. I was actually surprised. Now, is that, maybe that's just a sign that they're maybe not as good a team as they think they are, or whatever. But I certainly was surprised. But, they give us very, very little trouble. It's one of those games, Scotty, where I often say to people, you see, if you watch that match over again tomorrow with the pressure off, you'll find that we cruise through that in third gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems uncomfortable while you're watching it, but if you sit back and watch that again later on with the pressure off, we strolled it. We absolutely strolled it. We were never in danger. Never in danger at all. There was never in danger. The only danger at the finish, when you're still only 1-0 going into stoppage time, anything can happen with a corner, a free kick, whatever. You know what I mean? But that's why it was just nice to see the second goal. But it was a lot more straightforward than I thought it was going to be, given the pre-match hype about the Hibernian team. But listen, as I said to you before the game, in the league you like to play nice flowing football and put on a show for the fans, but especially when you get down to the quarterfinals, semi-finals of the cup, the only thing that matters is getting into the next round. Hibs would quite happily take and being absolutely battered there today and winning 1-0. Absolutely no doubt about that. So delighted to be through to the semi-final, and I just can't wait to see who we get in the draw tomorrow night.
Aye, it was comfortable, Andy. And as Paddy said as well, you know, we could have had 4, 5, 6 a day if it wasn't for that keeper. Aye, what's your thoughts on the game, mate, before we shoot off?
Obviously delighted. Aye, the main thing is getting through. We're into semi. It'll be interesting to see who we get now. So looking forward to that. When is a draw anyway? Do we know?
Be after the game tomorrow night, no?
After the game between Livingston and St Johnstone tomorrow night.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I hope Livingston don't get through. They're an absolute nightmare to watch. They should be nowhere near the kind of latter end of their cup competitions. I'm sorry, but I hate them.
Yeah.
And that wee Martindale, I can't go him. I'm delighted, mate. I think obviously the longer the game went on, Hibs had to kind of open up a wee bit, you know, and try and maybe steal something at the end to maybe take it into extra time. But that maybe played into our hands a wee bit, because it gave us more space than we had during the game, because they were very structured defensively. I agree with Paddy. I was expecting more off Hibs, more a threat. But I think a lot of that was down to us pinning them back and them realising that as much as they've got to hit us on the break,
yep,
they need to watch their back door as well, because we are lethal when it comes to, you know, finishing. So overall, absolutely delighted, and fair play to Brendan and the boys. They done the job today, so well done.
Aye, bang on. And just for anybody who wants to know and doesn't know, the semi-finals will be on the weekend of the 19th of April. So when we're in that draw tomorrow night, that's when the semi-finals will be. If this is your first time watching the podcast, please subscribe. Give us a wee subscribe on the YouTube channel. We've also got a Planet Celtic page over on Facebook that's run by our Paddy up there in the top left-hand corner. Go and have a wee look at that as well. That's our sponsors of the show. Thank you so much for all your comments. Thank you, Paddy. Thank you, Andy. And we will see you on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. UK time. We'll be back with you. Big week coming up. Big game again next weekend. So we will do our best to entertain you on Wednesday evening. We'll see you then. All the best. Hail, hail.
Guys, thanks everybody.
Cheers.